Happy day to everyone. Stephanie, I literally have a client that's how she texts me. Every time she texts me, great day, happy day. And it makes my heart so happy. She's going to be on the show in a couple weeks, but it just makes me so happy. I want to start doing that. So hi, everyone. It's Arden. I'm back with Arden's Chats. Obviously, this is your go-to show for all sorts of different interesting stories and cool people that I know in the market that are just crushing it in their respective fields. And here's the cool thing that I just keep discovering. There are so many fields out there. I've known Stephanie for a long time now. And when we were talking about what she wanted to cover in the show, she's like, let's talk about Pinterest. And I definitely wanted to know more about that because of how I use Pinterest and maybe how you use Pinterest. I never knew it could be what it is. But Stephanie, we're going to get into it later, but tell me a little bit, who are you anyway?
I am a 14-year brand strategist. I've been in every single facet of digital marketing I've worked in at some point in my career by design. Worked with a lot of different industries too, very similar to you, Arden. But I think the beauty about branding and marketing, I always see brand as that human piece. It's the personality that you then deploy out onto all these different marketing things. So whether that's Pinterest or email marketing or blogging or a podcast, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Those are all different avenues that you can use your marketing, but that brand is that cohesive piece. So I focus a lot on brand strategy, bringing brands to life, but I love talking about Pinterest because not enough people are. And it's something that I've been using. Pinterest came on the scene in 2010 and I've been using it since then. So, oh gosh, that's 13 years. But it's changed and evolved how I've used it for clients over time. And we've had really amazing success with it. And not just for fitness or for recipes, but for a lot of different businesses, which is why I love talking about it, because I think more people should be using it and can be using it. And it can be really simple. So that's why I like to talk about it so much.
Okay, perfect. So let's start first things first. If I started my Pinterest board in 2010, do I need to clean it out and start all over?
I would say if it's a personal account, possibly.
Okay.
There is a feature or a function that you can transition. This is similar on a lot of different social channels, even though I don't think Pinterest is a social channel. We can talk about that in a second. Okay. But there is a way to convert your account to a business account. Okay. So I think a lot of the features and a lot of the analytics and those different pieces you're going to get from a business account, not necessarily from a personal account. So you might want to transition that. You can do a lot and shift things on boards where you can use your existing account too. I could maybe do an audit for you and check it out and give you some recommendations there too. Because it really depends. And it depends on your goal. As you know, with so much in marketing, it really depends on that goal first. But it's possible that you could use your existing account. It's possible you might want to start fresh too.
Okay. I ask all this because before we got on here, I was looking at my own Pinterest account, and frankly, I use Pinterest when I'm redoing something, like most homeowners or condo owners or whatever, when you've got a little nook and you don't know what to do with it, like this little nook I'm sitting in today. What do I do with this little nook? Pinterest will give me something to do. Or I'll use it when I have clients that need to go on photo shoots and they do not know what to wear.
Oh, yeah.
And I can say, do this, 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 and this. These are the poses to wear, especially if I'm not on set with them. You copy all of this. And so I was looking at my old Pinterest getting ready for this. And I was like, the picture, I promise you the picture is from 2012, right after it opened, because I remember the wedding. It's a wedding picture. And my hair is to the side and I look really cute. But I was like, nothing about this screams business, right? So when we're starting at a foundation and coming to you, what's the best way to come to you for this?
I mean, I work with everybody and anybody that needs Pinterest. I actually have a self-guided course that'll show you how to scale your content. So you can take maybe a blog post or two and turn it into 100, 300, 500 pins and do it all in a way that's going to be pro algorithm. So the algorithm will pick up your content. My clients that have used it, students that are in the course that have used it, have gone from having no social media or no Pinterest presence, no account on Pinterest, to over 30,000 views in 2 weeks and actual website traffic coming in. So it works. We've done it. I used it for a client a couple of years ago. That's actually how I developed. It's called the Pin Better mini course. And I developed the Pin Better method from my work with a client. We took her account from 100,000 views to 1.8 million with no ads, all organic. And it's all driving real website traffic for her. So, I mean, and it still is. Some of our best performing pins for her account, I can still see are pins that we pinned for her in 2019. So what I love about Pinterest is you can set it up once, set it up properly once, and it can work for you for years to come. So I think you could still probably use your account now. And anybody who's listening, if you have an account now, you can probably still use it. I think the couple of things, kind of some quick wins, so to speak, on Pinterest that you're going to want to look at is your bio.
Okay.
I don't consider Pinterest a social media tool. I consider it social search. So it's a lot more like Google than it is like Facebook or Instagram or Riel or a Reel or TikTok or any of the other channels. It has a really long.
Slow down and say that one more time.
Yeah.
So don't consider it a social media channel. So
no, I do not.
When I teach about social media, I do include Pinterest, just like I include LinkedIn, right?
That's
like,
okay. A lot of people do.
Okay, cool. Tell me why.
So it's a lot more like Google, a lot more like a search engine than it is a social media tool. So a couple of key differentiators for Pinterest. It's a longer lead platform. And what I mean by that is people are coming, and you even alluded to it in how you use it to maybe get some design inspo for a space, or maybe you're going through a life transition and you want to get some inspiration of what could be for the future.
Okay.
That's different than traditional social media. I'm using air quotes for anybody who might just be listening.
Right.
But it's different because people are aspirational on Pinterest. It's a positive platform. There's actually research on the psychology behind it. And I love getting into data and psychology with marketing. But people love Pinterest because of how positive it is. You're actively planning for the future. Pinterest really has been around, like I said, since 2010. But there was this huge boom of users in 2020. And why was that? The pandemic, people were stuck inside. All they could do is plan for the future. Also, Pinterest unveiled some really amazing shopping and e-commerce capabilities on the platform in 2020 as well. And that really helped users take it and shop there and plan there in different ways. So it's for a lot of different businesses. It's not just a recipe platform or a workout platform anymore. There's a lot of business content, a lot of professional services, even a lot of small businesses are seeing a lot of success there because it's just like a Google search. So anything that you might search for on Google, maybe it's home decor ideas for a mid-century modern home, or maybe it's, how do I start this business? How do I start an online business? What do I need to do? Maybe you're getting divorced and you're like, what the heck is the first step I need to do? Just like you would search in a Google search bar. That's how people use Pinterest. That's what, in my opinion, makes it different than social media because it's all link-based. It's all very keyword rich and SEO friendly too. So you're going to come up in search results. And this is something that a lot of people don't know. Pinterest is a social channel. Again, I'm using the air quotes, but it actually, Google crawls pins just like it does like blog content and stuff. And so you can come up in search results for your pins. You're not going to do that on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. That technology actually doesn't allow that to happen on their side, where Pinterest is readable. It's all SEO friendly. So it can help your SEO results long term for things like your blog content, your podcast interviews, anything with a link. So if you have a link, I think your business should be on Pinterest.
Okay. So that was going to be my next question. So anyone with a link should be on Pinterest. I would love to hear a success story. And if you don't clearly don't say the name, but like, what does it look like when someone came to you and they were like, listen, everyone tells me, and I get this all the time. Let me preface it, guys, by saying this. I can teach a class, a killer class where I do purpose, pitch, perform. You know your target audience. You know the media. You know I have preached to you that email marketing is, if you're going to get 100 followers, get 100 followers on your email list versus 100 followers on Facebook, because your email list wants to be there and Facebook you don't own. And without fail, Stephanie, somebody's going to raise their hand and go, I need you to grow my Instagram. Do you do that? And I go,
yeah.
No.
I know. People love to chase the likes, and it's like the likes don't matter. I mean, I'm
right.
going to hurt people's feelings right now and make people mad, but they don't. I would much rather drive website traffic to your site and get you a lead and get you somebody to opt into your lead gen offer on your website than get you a Facebook or an Instagram follower. And so why I love Pinterest is we've used it to drive leads for businesses because you're driving somebody to a specific intentional page. Now, you're not going to want to use Pinterest for like a sale or an event or something that has an expiration date. You're going to want to use it for what is called evergreen content. So something that's going to last forever. So your lead gen offer, your lead magnet, an opt-in that you have on your website, maybe a blog, a piece of a blog content, maybe some stats from your industry or things like that you have that are readily available. We've even seen a lot of success sharing service pages. I think a common misconception is, oh, Pinterest is only for B2C companies or companies that have products. And I mean, my own company can be a great example of that.
Okay.
We have been using Pinterest for a decade and still drive referral traffic and still are driving leads every month from our Pinterest content to different opt-ins that we have. So I think that if we can think of it as just like anything in marketing land, as you know, it's one piece of the puzzle. It's not the end all be all. You're not going to sell out immediately of all of your products and services on Pinterest. Again, people are planning in advance. So you also have to think about the mindset of the user on Pinterest. People on Pinterest, if you're looking about 6 to 9 months out. So I worked with a lifestyle influencer for quite a few years. We really did some great things on our Pinterest and had beta access to nearly every feature, even some that haven't gone live yet. Yeah. But we would be planning, if it's summer, we're planning for Halloween and holiday content already and starting to pin that because people are starting to plan in advance. I'm not a planner like that.
Right.
I don't have my life together to have my Christmas shopping done by September, but a lot of people on Pinterest they're thinking about it. They're starting to make it. They're starting to maybe even put together a board of gift ideas. So if you do have a product-based business, you can be leveraging that all year round, not just during that holiday push too. Sorry, I bounced around a lot, but hopefully that gave some examples of different ways that Pinterest can be used.
Okay, so I want to break down the product-based business because I do think people watching this and people who follow me are authors. They've got products, they've got hair products, or they've got makeup products, or they've got products. Yeah. They're also service providers, but maybe they're in one spot. They do IVF hydration, or they're realtors in very specific locations. So, and realtors especially, right? Like a realtor you're in and out. That's not a long game. Yeah. But product people, should they already, it's June. Are they already thinking towards Christmas and getting their Christmas list out there? Like starting to place if they've got a face oil or something, should they be doing that already?
Yes. And I think that you probably already knew that answer because you're probably already starting to pitch gift guides for clients too at this point.
They don't come in until July or August.
Yeah. But you're prepping, you're starting to think about it. So I think that yes. I would say typically like the gift guides, those different pieces, June, July, August, very similar to a traditional media schedule on Pinterest as well, because it is 6 to 9 months in advance. I think one thing, and actually interestingly enough, in the luxury real estate market, because that can be a longer transaction, a longer lead process, we see a lot of success on Pinterest as well, because people can buy luxury properties and they can be all over the globe. Maybe they want to live in Arizona where I live. They're going to be looking for that content there too. And because these pins, if you're in a Google or a Bing or any other search channel, the pins are coming up as results. So you might be searching for luxury property in Arizona and a pin might come up in addition to blogs and other things. But people are going to be looking at that too, especially if they're not quite ready to buy. They're going to go to Pinterest first. You can start to build that relationship and start to build that content. And if nothing else, get them on your website and get them into your opt-in.
That's really interesting. Like, I think that's really interesting for realtors watching. Specifically, I'm writing an article for a luxury realtor in Boston. And so I was like, how many he has a new platform that coming out. And obviously his marketing team should be doing this. But I was like, how many realtors are there in America? Big R realtors, 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Licensed of some sort of real estate, 2 million.
So like so many.
The heck, most realtors make about 40 grand a year. That's it. And we know in this day and age, you're not living on 40 grand a year. So you're doing 2 or 3 other things. Yeah. What if you took her course, a mini course, take it in the, dedicate a week to it? Could they dedicate a week every morning and just knock it out?
I mean, it's a mini course. It's only like 2 hours. You could probably finish it in an afternoon if you wanted to. I'm an overachiever, so I would finish it in an afternoon, but you could give yourself a week. It doesn't take long to watch and implement. Okay. The only thing though, realtors listening, please, please, please don't post your listings.
Okay.
I need you to be posting blog content about how to find a home or luxury real estate tips or tricks, even links if you have a site for yourself. Linking to those different pieces about you. Maybe you were interviewed on a podcast, sharing that podcast link. Don't share your listings, especially if you're a good realtor. They're not going to be active anymore. That's not going to serve the person who's coming to the page if they come and there's a dead link. So don't share a listing. You need to be sharing value add content or some of your content marketing strategy there.
Could it be, because I'm just thinking, a lot of realtors, especially luxury realtors, they post they keep up what's already been sold.
Yes.
Can they post that? Like, sold this, sold this, sold this.
Yes. And I think also you could probably leverage, and one thing that we'll be actually experimenting with a luxury realtor client that I have here soon, the aspirational content of like the beautiful homes, the beautiful kitchens.
Yep.
That content does so well on Pinterest, regardless. Now, if you have a landing page on your site, or maybe if you don't even have a website, you just have like a MailChimp account or some other email marketing platform where you can make landing pages. Maybe you make a landing page about luxury real estate in Arizona. Again, I'm using this example. I live in Arizona. Great. And then you share pictures from your previous listings.
Yes.
As long as you have that in your agreement with your client that you can use the images, it's aspirational then. Right. Then there's a use case to use it on Pinterest, but please don't share your MLS links or whatever it's called in your neck of the woods, because it doesn't make it's not going to be beneficial. We have to think about, and how I approach all things in marketing is we think about your ideal customer, your ideal client, and what's going to make the most sense for them. What's going to add the most value for them, and sending them right to a link to a listing that might be expired at this point, or you already sold it. It's not going to be helpful for them. So send them to something that lasts, something that can be aspirational or educational. And that's how you can use Pinterest in the long game to work for real estate too.
Okay. Because it is really true. There's nothing worse. And I use Pinterest a lot for like, I don't care for shoes, but I know they're necessary, especially if a non-sneaker. I love a sneaker, but a non-sneaker, I'm just going to throw in a Tory Burch flat, but I am sure that there are more popular shoes than my Tory Burch flats that I have been wearing forever. I will go to Pinterest for that. Especially like what's Vogue saying 2023 fall shoes are going to be or whatever. So I can start planning and looking or whatever. Yeah. There's nothing worse than going to the link and you have found especially boots, the perfect boot, and it is no longer available.
It is the worst because they're so hard to find.
So like sandals and boots, I get it that all the wedges and the platforms, I am 5'11" with small feet and a propensity to trip. I do not need a wedge. And if you have shown me a shoe that is no offense to Tory Burch, if you would like to sponsor, I will wear all your shoes. I just feel like I can
sponsor this.
I feel as though that is a lazy girl when you're trying to be fashionable and you're like, I bet you there's something else out there. And I go, you know what? I did find something, but it's a dead link. So Tory's getting the money now, right? And I think we have to think about that in everything.
Yes.
Things that we do as consumers.
Yes.
Our consumers are doing the same thing, which leads to my next question. Who's hanging out on Pinterest? What's that audience actually look like?
Well, there are, as of 2022, which is the last data that we have to go off of for Pinterest, they reported 445 million active users. So there's a lot of people there.
145 million.
Which was an increase of 2 million over the last quarter from when they previously reported those results. So, and I think the one thing that I also like to point out, no shade or maybe shade to the Instagrams and Facebooks of the world, but Pinterest is actually still growing, where a lot of these other channels have gone flat or are losing users each month.
Okay.
So, and I think because, well, I know there have been studies done. Users report that they actually enjoy using Pinterest. It's uplifting because it's a positive channel, unlike the doom scrolling that we've all come to know and love and joke about with some of the other channels that are out there. And so people are coming, their mindset is they're planning for the future, whether it's their new house, how to start their new life, a new diet, outfits for vacation, whatever it might be. But I think the interesting thing is the pandemic in 2020 really changed the user base for Pinterest, because to be honest, talking about demographics, men were not very active on Pinterest for a long time.
Because it was like a silly thing, right?
Right. Yeah, you're planning a wedding, you're getting inspo for shoes, whatever it might be. But there's a growing demographic, a growing percentage of that male perspective there, because there's a lot more topics that are happening there now too. Entrepreneurship, real estate investing, even, how to start a podcast, how to start a business, the side hustle life. And so there's a lot of content. And I think also, even though they don't say this publicly, I've been seeing this since 2021 and started talking about it then, actually, where pins were coming up as Google search results, because I was seeing it for our own brands and for my clients, where it was coming up in their Google search alerts that we have set up. But I think because of that, everyone uses Google. And I think the powerful thing about it is you think about the way that somebody's using a search engine like Google versus how they're using maybe Instagram, or I'll say traditional social media, Facebook. When you're on a search engine, you're primed to want the information right then, right? You're looking for, how do I change a tire? Or, what the heck does it mean if I'm getting tired every day at 3:00 in the afternoon? Or whatever the topic might be. And so people are using Pinterest that way too. So it really kind of takes a lot of those barriers, maybe is a word to say, or the limitations of the kinds of content on Pinterest. I mean, it's everything. It's health, it's wellness, it's entrepreneurship, business ownership. But we are seeing a lot more men on Pinterest, which is great news, because that means that of those 445 million active users, you can really, I'm confident in saying, no matter what your business is, your audience is likely on Pinterest at some point in the day, and you can meet them at the exact moment they're searching for your product or service, which is incredible.
So what I'm hearing is I could possibly find a man on Pinterest. That's what
maybe, I don't know. The new dating app, I don't know. I don't personally use Pinterest DMs, but they exist.
There's DMs in the Pinterest.
There sure are. So who knows? Because it goes down in the DM, right?
I'm shutting down the DMs. I will tell you, my last reel, I was telling you I had to redo it. And I think it's so much better. But I was like, when you're pitching yourself out there, right? Like, and this is the thing I do like about Pinterest is it's another way to pitch yourself. It's another way to put yourself out there. And the biggest, scariest thing is when you ask someone out on a date. And I've literally never done that in my 44 years of life.
I can't wait for you to do it. I'm going to be texting you like, did you do it yet? Did you do it yet? I'm excited.
I don't know. I'm like, what? Nah, I'm good. You can ask. Look, I got my East Coast Southern girl, still wearing it proud. But when we think about it, when I'm thinking about like pitching myself as a speaker, which is something I'm really working on doing and challenging myself to do, it's not just wait for people to ask it. Pinterest seems like a great place to do that as well, because I'm like you, my content has never changed. And speakers out there watching this, generally speaking, your content should not change every time you speak. You should be speaking the same content repeatedly, right?
Yeah.
Brene Brown spoke the same thing. She still talks about bravery.
She still talks about the man in the arena every time, which is one of my favorite quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's profound. It's impactful because it takes us as humans, it takes us a while to learn something. I mean, especially with how much noise and distraction there is, that repetition really matters. I was just thinking when you were saying pitching yourself, you could easily link to a media kit page on your site on Pinterest and use that as added leverage for people who are searching for speakers that you could come up in search results better. I'm going to do that for my own media page later today.
As you should, as I'm going to do the same thing for my media page and for all my clients' media pages too, because especially if you're my authors out there, those folks, like your children's books never go away, right? Yeah. So looking at where we're hanging out, and especially I will tell y'all, personal note, like when I'm at my worst, I will go to Pinterest and just pray, like, God, give me the inspiration. And I will go through, and because I've got it kind of vetted, like my inspirational thing, here's what you need to be hearing, or here's what you don't. And I love that, because if I'm going to go to Instagram, it's going to tell me all the dogs that have been abandoned. And I am sad about all the dogs that have been abandoned.
Oh, yeah.
I really feel like I want to see the cats that are beating up people. I think that's hilarious, but it still doesn't soothe my soul, right?
Yeah.
But if your Pinterest is really true, so those of you who are consistently wanting to create really good content, Pinterest is a great way to go. So Stephanie, we're reaching about 30 minutes. So how can they find you? How can they get this mini course? I'll put it in the show notes, obviously, but what can they do to just take this course and get started? Because it seems like a great way to get started.
It is. Before we do that, I do want to say I had an idea come to mind for authors that are listening too. So if you as an author are doing any kind of interview or speaking, and maybe you're using, I'm guessing, YouTube to put your videos up, you can use your YouTube links for Pinterest content too. So you can upload video to Pinterest. You can upload your videos to Pinterest. You can upload a reel that you've already created. I actually posted a reel for my business a couple years ago, forgot about it. Went to Pinterest to look at data like 11 months later, and the video had over 100,000 impressions, and it was driving traffic to the site. And I was like, what is this? And I looked and I was like, oh, I forgot I even put that up. It was a reel that I posted on Pinterest that now is driving real website traffic for my website. So I'm just saying, you could use your video content too, especially if you're an author, you're a speaker, you're doing an online summit, anything like that. You can use those different links on Pinterest as well. The course will show you how to create graphics that are going to be able to scale, that you can turn that one link into 10, 100, 300 different posts on Pinterest, which is awesome too. You can find everything about me that is needed at stephanieriel.com. And then the course is the Pin Better mini course. I'll get you the link, and I'll also give your listeners $100 off. I'll give you a code for that. That'll bring the cost under $100, which is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
because it's going to literally teach you how to all the ins and outs of Pinterest. But then also, if you're going to get started, why not get started and set yourself up on the right foot? Do it in a way that's the algorithm's going to love, so it's going to boost your visibility and set you up for success, so that you're naming your files the right things, you're naming you're using the right keyword strategy, all those pieces. So you'll get to learn all of that. It's 3 quick videos, and you get access for life and added benefits with some of the new stuff that's coming out here soon too. So,
that's awesome. And really and truly, like, guys, having keywords in all of these different platforms is so important. And one of the things I'm working on is like getting better corporate contracts. So I've hired someone to like redo my resume, because I don't know what a resume needs to look like anymore. Look, I'm too close to my own stuff, right?
Yeah, so it's hard.
People want to look at resumes again. So, okay, you go do it. It was $150. So $150 that could turn into $1,500. I'm like you, just like this with Pinterest, less than $100. It's going to turn into 15, 2,000, 10,000, whatever it's going to turn into. We got to invest in the right things for ourselves. Even if, like you think, Pinterest, you don't know Pinterest, 2010 Pinterest, go learn this one and learn how to make money off of it. But knowing those keywords is what's so important. And I love that that's part of it, is just in giving templates. Those are the two biggest get ups, like hitching people's getting ups, is like, I know what to do, but just show me what to do. Allow me to like, give me the tools and I'll do it. So
absolutely. Well, and there's some templates that are included with the course too. So you really get a little bit of everything. I like to set people up for success and make sure that you're going to be able to do it and take action quickly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, numerous students didn't even have a Pinterest set up, and then we're really getting visibility and traffic to their site in the first 2 weeks. So, but that, that definitely, I think there's a big opportunity there for anyone listening for Pinterest. So
I love it. You guys go do that, or just go hire her to do it for you. If you're balling out there and you're like, this is not something, which is another thing people come to us for, right? Like, it's like, I don't want to do it. Just pitch me. Just do the Pinterest for me. Do all the algorithms. That's also an option. So anything else you want to leave them with, Stephanie?
I don't think so. I loved the conversation today. I'm so grateful to be here. I think, thank you for letting me share some of the excitement of Pinterest and why I think it's such an important platform. I know that it can be hard. There are so many different things. We have so many things to keep up with, not only in our lives, but then all these different marketing pieces that we have to keep a hold of. But I think if you have your goals set and you're actively working towards those in small ways each day, that's what pays off. And I think that really, you can repurpose. And I know we didn't even talk about that with Pinterest, but you don't have to necessarily reinvent the wheel to get on Pinterest. You can leverage some of your other existing content or use templates to create some stuff really quick, or have your VA or whoever manages your social media already to get you showing up on Pinterest in a way that's going to get you seen and get you real website traffic, and send them to your opt-in so you can get the lead too.
I know. Getting those leads is so important. I mean, and that's where, so obviously with Arden's chats, my whole goal is to communicate really cool people with you all. And with Definita, we are honed in on communication in general. We know how to teach you how to talk for yourself, and also really, really grow in a way that makes sense for you with our Purpose Pitch Perform platform. So if you guys are ready to start working with either one of us, information is in the show notes, and we're here for you anytime. So thanks, everybody. Bye, y'all.